السلام عليكم everyone. شكرا لحضوركم معنا. ندري اليوم is a very special day. We have Expo. What a beautiful day. شاكرين لكم تواجدكم معنا في الجلسة هذه وكل الجلسات اللي سبقت. طبعا سلسلة Engage هي سلسلة من الحوارات استمرت لمدة 6 شهور، وإن شاء الله اليوم نختتم السلسلة هذه للسيزن هذا، بس إن شاء الله قريب whether it is in 2022 ولا soon بنفتح الجلسات مرة ثانية. Please feel free to register to attend, to join us، وحتى إذا عندكم your own stories to share. منصة قيادات منصة مفتوحة لجميع القياديين الإماراتيين من الشباب والشابات، وحابين أن نستضيف أكبر عدد من الخبرات والتالنتس. واليوم عندنا our alumni فاطمة الخوري. شكرا فاطمة لتواجدت معنا again. فاطمة إحدى خريجة برنامج القيادات، قيادات الشباب Youth Leaders Program. فاطمة نتكلم اليوم عن خبرتها من التواجد في الجلوبال نتورك. احنا اليوم يوم نتكلم عن اكسبو، نتكلم عن bringing in the world to Dubai. What is a better way to start this day and to start the season than to have one of our young leaders talk about her global impact and how she participated in the global network. بخلي فاطمة تعرفكم عن نفسها و I'll be here to facilitate. شكرا فاطمة و please go ahead.
مشكورة أختي مريم، دكتورة مريم كتيت على المقدمة. أول شيء السلام عليكم أخواني وأخواتي. يسعدني ويشرفني تواجدي بينكم اليوم، وأشكر مكتب رئاسة الوزراء وفريق العمل القائم على برنامج قيادات حكومة الإمارات على الاستضافة اليوم، وإن شاء الله تستفيدون من العرض. وإذا عندكم أي سؤال لا تترددون تسألون، وفي نهاية العرض إن شاء الله بيكون عندنا فقرة للأسئلة والنقاش. فبداية بكلمكم إن شاء الله عن تجربتي مع برنامج قيادات شباب حكومة الإمارات، اللي هو جزء من برنامج قيادات حكومة الإمارات المنظم من قبل مكتب رئاسة الوزراء. وعقب إن شاء الله بعرض لكم نبذة عن بعض من تجاربي المتواضعة مع العالم الخارجي في دول مثل بيلاروسيا، ألمانيا، الدنمارك، كوريا الجنوبية وإيطاليا، بما أن محور الورشة اليوم اللي هو الانفتاح على العالم الخارجي. وإذا تسمحوا لي ببدأ العرض باللغة الإنجليزية لأنه ويانا بعد English speakers في السيشن اليوم. So I've just mentioned that I will start with a brief insight into the Prime Minister Office Youth Leadership Program experience, and then I will move to some of my humble international experiences with the outside world that took place in countries like Belarus, Germany, Denmark, South Korea, and Italy as well, as the focus of today's session is on the openness to the outside world. And at the end of the presentation, we will have, inshallah, a part for questions and answers and any comments as well. So if you allow me to share my screen now with all of you, so I can start the presentation. I just want to confirm if the screen is clear for everyone. Yes, Mariam?
Yes.
Excellent. So as I've just mentioned, that I will start with a brief overview with my experience with the Prime Minister Office Youth Leadership Program, as I was extremely lucky actually to be selected among the second batch of the program back in 2018. The program is developed and designed based on the UAE government leadership model to develop and prepare national youth to achieve the goals of the ambitious UAE Future Vision 2021 and the UAE Centennial 2071 as well. So throughout the program, we were actually trained by Oxford University, Ashraf Executive Education, and Lee Kuan Yew, the University of Public School in Singapore, for various leadership materials such as leadership and influence, strategic risk-taking, communicating with impact, strategic foresight and scanning, as well as ideation and design thinking. So we've also got the chance to work on a special capstone project, and our team worked on a project that addresses the UAE youth labor market challenges to actually encourage for example, one of the project recommendations was to actually introduce supportive programs to encourage the employment in the private sector and to review the current labor laws so that they become up to date with the developments in the work environment. For example, just to give you some of the examples of the project recommendations, to focus on the employee productivity instead of the working hours, and also to consider the remote working adaptation. So that was back in 2018. And we've recommended the remote working adaptation. So it seems that we've anticipated COVID-19 implications back then. So to summarize, the Prime Minister Office Youth Leadership Program was actually my gate to explore, and a golden opportunity that broadened my horizon. The opportunity supported me to get my voice heard in the local and international leadership arena. It also enhanced my networking opportunities by engaging with various experts across the world, locally. It also enhanced my knowledge in critical leadership materials and enabled me to become a more focused, self-driven, and a motivated leader. So I'm very grateful for the opportunity. And here's just a few collage to summarize our experience back then with our colleagues in the Youth Hub, presenting our projects as well, and our regular gatherings. And with that, I hope that I gave you a bit of an insight on my experience with the PMO Leadership Program. And I will move now to the focus of today's presentation, which is leadership representation in global initiatives. So the first experience was in 2015 in Belarus, and specifically in Minsk city. So I was nominated by the Emirates Standardization and Metrology Authority and Abu Dhabi Quality and Conformity Council to represent the UAE youth in the IEC Young Professionals Workshop. And the International Electrotechnical Commission is one of the first and oldest organizations for standardization activities, specializing in issuing standards and managing conformity schemes in the electricity sector, electronics as well, and related technologies. So during the workshop, we were actually exposed to various standardization materials and the role of standardization in our daily work, in addition to the IEC scope of work, the possibility of participating in their active standardization working groups as well, to be a part of shaping the IEC standardization documents. And during the third day of the workshop, they told us that the IEC regularly hosts a young professional leadership competition as a part of their general annual meetings, in which they select a total of 3 leaders as a part of the workshop. And those leaders get the chance to work with the IEC for a period of 1 year and lead a group of young professionals to work on special capstone projects. So they told us, guys, you have only 1 day to prepare your pitch and present in front of the committee the following day. And to be honest, back then I was actually a fresh graduate and I was a bit hesitant about participating. But then I've decided to participate as my country invested in me and sent me there to the program. So that was the least thing that I can do, is to participate and deliver the youth voice of the UAE in that competition. So I did my pitch actually the second day, And alhamdulillah, I was selected by the IAC as a young professional leader among 75 young professionals coming from 35 countries across the world. I got the chance to lead a group of 25 young professionals, and we have managed to establish the first IAC Youth Standardization Working Group that delivers direct recommendations to the Standardization Management Board. It's called AHG 67. I mean, I know it's not a very catchy name, but with the standardization working groups, we need to follow specific codes and naming them. So we had to go with the AHG 67. So this working group ensures that the youth voice is being reflected and has an impact on the SMB decisions and the standardization development process. We have actually presented the project in 2016 in Frankfurt, Germany, the following year, and received very positive feedback from the IAC SMB to proceed with the working group implementation. I also got the chance to write an article within the IAC Ethic magazine, and my article was about autonomous and connected vehicles technology CAB. I am also, and just to conclude this experience on a good note, I'm happy to also announce that the UAE will be hosting the IAC 85th General Meeting this year in Dubai, along with the Dubai Expo 2020, between the 3rd to the 7th of October for a period of 5 days, in which the IAC Young Professionals Program is a part of it. I have also recently presented this experience to the UAE Youth Institutional Council members to encourage them to apply for the program. And by the way, last week, 4 of our young Emirati colleagues were selected by the Ministry of Industry and Advanced Technology to be a part of this year's General Meeting Young Professionals Program. So I would like to use today's platform to deliver my sincere congratulations to them. And I wish them all the very best of luck. So this concludes the first experience. The second experience was in 2017 in Denmark. I was selected by Unleash organization, which is the largest sustainable innovation lab in the world. So Unleash gathers top talents to collaborate on solutions that help meet the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. And since its inception, Unleash has been held in Denmark, which is the first batch that I was a part of, Singapore and Shenzhen, China. And of course, due to COVID-19 implications and its effects on the ability to gather physically, Unleash currently have 2 online programs, which are on Unleash Hacks and Unleash Plus. So in 2017, and just to give you a bit of a brief about the experience, I was selected actually among around 10,000 applicants, and I was the only Emirati participant in the program back then. So I was extremely happy that I was an ambassador for my country in the program. So we spent 9 days in Denmark, moving between Copenhagen, Aarhus, and the Danish countryside as well. So in Copenhagen, Unleash actually accommodated us in shared rooms. So I remember back then, I've actually shared the room with a total of 5 girls from 4 different continents. So the experience definitely taught me patience. I mean, that's for sure. So as my background is in transportation engineering and sustainable critical infrastructure, I have worked with an international team under SDG 11, which is Sustainable Cities and Communities, and specifically under the Urban Sustainability theme and the Accessibility, Transportation and Mobility sub-theme. And I remember back then, we named our group as InfoPOV, which is Information Point of View. And maybe that's a more catchy name than the IAC working group, AHG. At least here we had the flexibility in naming it. And just to give you a brief about our project, so it was about the data for predicting public transportation demand, as usually the misalignment between the supply and demand in the public transportation result in inefficient usage of scarce public resources, high operating cost, as well as inefficient utilization of public transportation capacity. So the consequence here is either too many empty seats or lack of capacity to service all waiting passengers. And the unused capacity is a loss of potential revenue or unnecessary operating costs. In addition to that, lack of capacity fosters an unsatisfactory user experience, and that is why combining prior data collection with real-time passenger data have the potential to actually reduce that identified discrepancy. So the recommendations, so our proposal recommended a data measuring scheme by collecting pre-travel demand data using discounted prices as incentive, as this is usually, maybe most of you are aware of, that is actually common within the airline industry, but not very common in the public transportation sector. So this will support the service providers to plan ahead and utilize the public transport to its maximum capacity. Not only that, it will also help end users to identify the crowded public transport areas, whether they will be able to get a ride on the bus, for example, in a specific timing. So a predictive model using advances in the quality data can expected to result in more precise forecasts of passenger demand, enabling, let's say, infrastructure planners to make more informed decisions and create a better user experience, and enabling passengers to adapt their travel plans through live updates on current capacity. So what's the relation here between our project and the Sustainable Development Goals? Adapting such methods will have a significant relation to the SDG indicators, because this method will actually support fulfilling two of the major SDG goals, which are SDG Goal 9, Industry, Innovation and Infrastructure, as well as SDG 11, Sustainable Cities and Communities, which is, by the way, the most SDG that I'm actually passionate about. And by addressing access and reliability of public transport as well. So our project proposal was published by the Unleash organization under the Urban Sustainability Manual. And overall, it was a great experience. And again, I highly encourage whoever interested to apply to contribute towards the United Nations and the UAE vision for the SDGs in 2030. And by the way, until now, we have an active WhatsApp group for SDG 11 members in which we connect and communicate regularly. And to me, that's the actual beauty about these programs. And as you can see here, the photos on the right side below are actually in the Federal Statistics and Competitiveness Authority, as FCSA chairs the UAE's Committee for the National Agenda for the SDGs 2030. And here, His Excellency Abdullah Lota, the Director General of FCSA, was actually interested about my experience as Unleash approached them to host the event in the UAE. But then COVID came and Unleash transferred into the virtual environment. The photos on the left side here below are actually some of the photos post the event of some of my colleagues when they have visited the UAE. So that's the beauty about those kind of programs. So it's not only about working on the special capstone projects, it's also about networking with all of those intelligent mindsets, as I took them to visit some of our cultural sites and historical places to actually present the good picture of the UAE citizens when they visit our beloved country. I would like to finish this experience by going back to this photo here, the slide before. as this map actually means a lot to me, as I still remember the moment when they called us to add a pen to our respective country. And I was the one who actually added the pen to I was actually extremely honored that I got the chance to add the pen to our beloved country map and made sure that our country presence is there in the largest sustainable innovation lab in the world. And if you allow me to conclude this experience, I will be sharing a short video about the experience, and I hope that you all enjoy it.
We are at the beginning of a new era of development, and a window of opportunity exists to rethink the traditional approaches to persistent global issues. That is precisely what makes Unleash so important and so very timely. The brain power here taps 6 continents, countless languages and cultures, and a global youthful insight and spirit of collaboration.
I am Fatma Alkhoori. I am from United Arab Emirates.
I am Morgan. I am from Hong Kong.
I am Clarice Cunha-Link. I am from Brazil.
I am Isaac Siranga. I'm from Uganda, and my vision is a sustainable future for all.
Unleash is really you. It's your efforts here, your credibility. You have actually showed passion, you have shown energy, you have shown creativity. I must say it's probably the most talented group of young people I've ever worked with. We have also, with this Unleash, hoped to show the best of Denmark here. We started out in Copenhagen. We took you out to something what was very typical Danish, the Danish folk high schools. You have been singing out there.
We spent time every morning in song. You're singing the Beatles, you're singing Danish folk songs, and a range of things really to set the tone, which I think helped inspire the collaboration and the innovation that came out throughout the process of the week. That process included things like problem solving and ideation. I think doing that in an environment where you are inspired by music, where you hear stories about people's journeys, about people's reflections on the future, I think does change the way you address a problem or the type of problems that you're excited about addressing.
I'm here to help clean the oceans from the plastic that's currently polluting it.
I'm here to transform public transportation to make this world cleaner and greener.
I'm here because I want to change the way that you see sick people and redesign the medical system as a whole.
By 2030, I want everyone to have access to a clean and reliable source of energy.
The Sustainable Development Goals, Agenda 2030, is an extraordinary gift. Above all, I appeal to you to look to these goals as something that unifies us not only in an abstract sense, but through common purpose. It's how you begin to work with them, how you make them relevant to people around you, and perhaps one day to millions of people through what you may contribute as an innovation.
Through Unleash, all of you are challenging us to work together in radical new ways and to collaborate on our common goals across all sectors, societies, countries and regions, based on the recognition that only together can we achieve meaningful change for good.
A lot of you guys have asked what's going to happen next. We're going to create a city roadmap, finding out what cities out there have the resources and abilities to pull off the next event. But for them to do it, they'll need your help.
Unleash is not just Unleash 2017 in Denmark. Unleash will also carry on, and that will happen because we have 1,000 talent here who really have done great solutions for creating a better world.
I hope that you guys enjoyed the short video about the experience. And now, if you would allow me, I will move into the third experience. All right, sorry about that. I was trying to move the slide. So the third experience was actually in 2019 in Jeju Island, South Korea. I was selected by Youth Now organization, which is an official partner of the United Habitat, working towards a better urban future. Its mission is basically to promote socially and environmentally sustainable human settlements, development, and the achievement of adequate shelter for all. As cities are facing unprecedented demographic, environmental, as well as economic and social challenges, in which those has a phenomenal shift towards urbanization, with 6 out of every 10 people in the world are expected to reside in urban areas by 2030. And in many places around the world, the effects can already be felt. For example, lack of proper housing and growth of slums, inadequate and outdated infrastructure, water issues, sanitation issues, pollution issues as well, and many other issues. So this is why Youth Now organized an SDG program on the theme of youth-led urban regeneration, and particularly focused on SDG 11. That's why I've decided to apply for the program, by the way, Sustainable Cities and Communities. So the event included learning programs in sustainability and urban regeneration. And just to give you a brief again about our project back then. So our team worked on a project about providing a sustainable housing project for a Vietnamese village, as affordable housing can be a serious issue within the Vietnamese community. So our proposed solution included a policy mechanism suggested for the Vietnamese government that included a set of recommendations, for example, such as supporting the investment companies to contribute in building sustainable, affordable houses by exempting them from the associated taxes, and to strengthen the governance of the housing sector and adopt initiatives that enables affordable housing options for the poor communities within that Vietnamese village. So to summarize, through participating in such programs, we actually act as ambassadors for our country in achieving the United Nations goal of leaving no one behind, and to support the developing countries as well in strengthening their Human Development Index and their industrial base as well. So I hope that gave you a bit of an insight about the Jeju Island experience back then. And by the way, Jeju Island is very, very beautiful, and I highly recommend you guys to visit it if you have not. So the fourth and last experience. So the fourth experience was actually in 2018 in Venice, Italy. So during my graduate master's studies in Khalifa University, under the Sustainable Critical Infrastructure, we got the chance to work on a special capstone project about documenting and capturing the everyday urbanism, social and physical behavior of the local neighborhood units in the UAE. So basically, the objective was to capture the neighborhood characteristics, the built environment, the social and physical place attachment aspects, and the individual's relations and spirit, in addition to also capture the unique sense of everyday urbanism that is created by its own dealers and users within the UAE neighborhood units along the sikkahs of old neighborhoods, as each of these landscapes embody the real yet hidden spirit of the city. And each nexus shows how people create their own space and how architecture facilitates those practices. So the project intent was to actually visually present these urban palettes and interpretations of everyday urbanism, enabling the audience to sense and live the outcomes of the UAE's architecture and urbanism that holds many stories, communal memories, and informal activities, and significant cultural inheritance. So our team back then was focusing on Benias area and specifically East 7 neighborhood unit, in which we were visiting the neighborhood frequently on a weekly basis. But thank God it was winter back then. So we were trying to capture the community everyday urbanism behavior. And we have also captured the place attachment factor, which is actually the individual's, so in simple words, it's the individual's emotional relation to physical and social environments, as bonds are important for determining how people interact with their local environments and at the same time connect with others within that neighborhood unit. And we have chosen Benias area. So maybe some of you are wondering, well, why we have chosen Benias specifically for our project, because it is one of Abu Dhabi's largest suburban districts. And East 7 specifically, as it was a part of 2,500 houses that were constructed in the first phase of a residential project in the UAE and finished at the end of year 1979. Alhamdulillah, we have managed to establish a book out of the project. It's called Lifescapes Beyond Bigness, in collaboration with the Sheikha Salama bint Hamdan Al Nahyan Foundation. And the book outcomes were presented in the UAE's National Pavilion exhibition in Venice, Italy. So the National Pavilion, UAE, is one of the world's most significant and rigorous cultural platforms, and it creates untold stories about the UAE's arts and architecture, and provides a high-profile platform for curatorial concepts that addresses critical international conversations from a distinctive local perspective, and at the same time preserve the understanding of the UAE's cultural landscape. So we were extremely honored that our work was presented in such a distinguished exhibition. So if you would allow me now, I will be sharing a short video that provides a brief insight into the book presentation in the National Pavilion exhibition in Italy. And just to also finish this last experience on a good note, I will be sharing another short video that demonstrates our experience in Benias while dealing with the neighborhood community and the friendly people we met back then, and how they were very welcoming and even allowed us to enter their houses, interact with their families and children, and capture the daily moments that they are living. As we have experienced, honestly and genuinely, we have experienced hospitality, kindness, and generosity. And the residents there greeted us with the sentence, "Consider yourselves at home." And I will be sharing the short videos right now. So I will start with a brief video on the insight of the UAE's National Pavilion book presentation. And then following that, our Benias experience and capturing all of those everyday urbanism moments and beautiful characteristics of that neighborhood.
Lifescapes Beyond Bigness explores the interplay between the physicality of architecture and the dynamic choreography of everyday life. The UAE Pavilion presents an exhibition that explores and investigates the role of human-scale landscapes in enhancing, facilitating, and accommodating everyday life and social activities. The exhibition invites visitors to experience important human-scale landscapes in the UAE that are often overlooked or sidelined in common descriptions of UAE's mega planning narratives. So what we are trying to say is that despite UAE's mega urbanism, the region offers unique landscapes that include free spaces where people can create their own spaces under the shadows of buildings and trees.
I will be sharing the other video now on the Benias experience.
بنياس تعليلية ما شاء الله تلمتنا احنا وربعتنا واخواني وعمومتي واخوالي واصدقائنا عشنا فيها ترعرعنا فيها. والمنزل يعني المكان اللي تنزل فيه وترعرع انت وابن عمك واخوانك في نفس المكان تشتاق له ما تبي تطلع منه. لان نحن بعدنا ما زلنا على العادات الاوليه والتقاليد الاوليه لماتنا ومترابطين ومتعاونين، والحمد لله نحن في ظل حكومه رشيده ومثل ما قال محمد بن زايد البيت مفتوح. الحين انا مثلا لو اشوف واحد من عيال الفريج انزين، لو اشوف واحد منهم في الشارع انا اللي ارده، انا اكون مثل ولي عدل مسؤول عليه. ما شاء الله يعني هاي ميزه طيبه فينا. قلنا وحده العيال ياران يتغدوا مرات عندنا، عيالنا يتغدوا عند ياراننا نتواصل وياهم مثل الاخوان، ما يعتبرون ياران يعتبرون اخواننا، يعتبرون منزلهم منزلنا منزلهم ومنزلهم منزلنا، وما في فرق بيننا وبينهم ولا بيننا وبينهم حدود. والحمد لله التربيه طيبه والمعيشه طيبه وبنعمه وبأمن وأمان. هذا نحمد الله عليه وطول العمر شيوخنا ما قصروا ووفروا لنا نحن ولأهالينا وجدودنا، وهذا المعروف ما ننساه.
So I hope that you've enjoyed the last video. And to conclude, I hope that you found my humble experiences presentation to be useful. And today is a very special day as our beloved country is celebrating the opening ceremony of Dubai Expo event. And the theme of the event is about connecting minds and creating the future by opportunity, so to empower people to shape the future, by mobility, in showcasing a virtual world of data and the robotized city of tomorrow, and by sustainability, to showcase solutions to reduce the harm to the environment. So please do not forget to witness this historical moment celebrations today live across the social media platforms at 7:30 p.m. today. I'm very grateful actually to all of you for dedicating some time of your busy schedules to attend the workshop today. I mean, it's Thursday and it's already around 6 p.m. So I really appreciate your presence. And again, my sincere thanks and gratitude to the Prime Minister Office and the UAE Government Leadership Program team members for hosting the session today. Special thanks as well to the session moderator, Dr. Maryam Ktet, who made this session happen today. So thank you very much, Maryam. And if you have any questions or any comments, please do not hesitate. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, Fatma. Shukran. Thank you so much. I was very humbled by the beautiful video that you showed last. It was just the cherry on top, and you remind us of the stars that are our alumni. So the government leadership program has been running for over a decade, and it is inspired by His Highness's Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid's government leadership model. When we talk about the government leadership model, we talk about future foresight, leadership spirit. We talk about being open to the world, the soft skills that you need as a leader. And you demonstrated that, whether it's with the empathy that you showcased, the innovation, and being truly a global citizen. So thank you so much for sharing this. And I'd love to also remind everyone to just give us their feedback on the presentation, how they felt about it, and also we'll take your questions. So I see some people raising
I think some people are raising hands. I think maybe you need to unmute them, Dr. Maryam.
Yes, let me just have a look. So there was someone who raised their hand, so I can't find them anymore.
So anyone who raised his or her hand, please re-raise it again.
We have a lot of appreciation in the chat box, as you can see. We are very grateful to have everyone here, and of course, we're very grateful to have you, Fatma. So if anyone has a question, now you have the chance to ask. Otherwise, I don't know, Fatma, if you wanted to maybe put your email or something, so people can connect to you. Okay, so we have Sana or Sana.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Thank you very much. يعني I don't have a question, but I just wanted to thank Fatma for this nice presentation and nice spirit. I'm really proud to see youth ladies are يعني standing out and sharing their experience. We have been يعني in this age, but there was no opportunity to do that. So thank you, Fatma, for your presentation. I just wanted to say that, and I wish you all the best. Always keep the spirit up and don't forget to develop yourself, because I feel that continuous development in any age will keep you always up to a level where you can help others also. So great job. Thank you very much for sharing all these information and give us that nice spirit to inshallah be part like you in the world and nation.
Thank you very much. And first, thank you very much for attending the presentation today. And thank you for your encouragement words. I mean, we are truly, again, blessed that we have a government that actually believes in the UAE youth. a government that actually enables us to achieve the impossible, that actually would continuously motivate us and provide us with various opportunities. So we have no excuse, actually, rather than, as you said, to continue to develop ourselves. So thank you very much. I truly appreciate your words. And thank you for your presence.
I see a lot of appreciation still coming in. So if no one has any more questions, we will also nudge you one more time to give us the feedback. We'd love to see you on our platforms. منصات القيادات. قيادات is an active leadership hub connecting our alumni and new participants. People who, like Fatma, would either joined or will be joining our leadership development programs. And we'd like to see you there. And we thank Fatma once again. And I know that it's a big day and we have a couple of hours, يعني تقريبا, to catch the big event. So I congratulate everyone, actually, all of us here in the UAE and the world. And I hope that, inshallah, we get to see more progress in the global arena and the local premise. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Maryam. Thank you for making, again, this session happen today. My sincere thanks and gratitude to all of you. Thank you, and enjoy your weekend. And again, don't forget to celebrate this historical moment. And by the way, it's the first time in the Middle East region that Dubai Expo is, we're having an expo event in the Middle East region. So I'm sure that we're all proud of this historical achievement. Enjoy your weekend, and thank you very much all. Thanks. Take care all.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. مع السلامة.